The chronicles of old speak little of the place where sunlight dares to fall in the celestial realm, yet here it hangs, a golden sentinel above the forest where Ling Han now treads. In Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao 759 Titan 1760, the young cultivator finds himself shadowed by a mischievous yet cunning black dog, slipping through tunnels long and winding, carved into the earth to conceal an ancient site now claimed by unknown hands. The air grows thick with spiritual qi as they breach the protective formations, revealing gardens of godly herbs whose potency could overwhelm even the seasoned. And yet, as their eyes meet a man hastening the growth of these precious plants, an uneasy tension coils between chance and design. What secrets will the ancient site reveal, and who truly watches them from the shadows? The moment Ling Han's vision clouded, he found himself thrust into a forest both familiar and yet hauntingly strange. The soil beneath his feet was tinged with yellow, a muted earthiness unlike the lands he had traversed before. Trees rose stout and thick, their leaves broad and oppressive, blocking much of the sunlight. Yet, above the dense canopy, a sun hung in the sky, a burning orb of light that was foreign to the celestial realm, where no true sun ever shone, and the stars themselves were but drifting fragments of colossal meteorites. "Little Han, keep your eyes forward and follow Grandpa Dog quietly," whispered the massive black hound as he slinked ahead, his movements silent as shadows. "Do not make so much as a sound." Ling Han frowned, uncertainty flickering in his gaze. "But this is supposed to be an ancient site, isn't it? We haven't even entered yet. Why must we tread so cautiously?" The black dog's eyes gleamed with a sharp seriousness. "Pei, who told you an ancient site can be stormed casually? This place has been claimed by someone else. If we aren't careful, we'll never step inside." Ling Han's curiosity pricked him. "Claimed by whom?" The hound's tail flicked nonchalantly. "Does it matter? We're here to steal. Who cares whose treasure it is?" Well, Ling Han felt a shiver run down his spine, yet the thought of ancient sites being ownerless, treasures unclaimed until seized, settled his heart. With a nod, he allowed himself to follow the hound's lead, his steps silent among the thick undergrowth. After a time, the black dog let out a mischievous bark of laughter. "Brat, if Grandpa Dog let out a fart right now, you'd be utterly invigorated, wouldn't you?" Ling Han's hand shot out reflexively, almost striking the hound. "Little Black, your humor grows ever more vile." "Heh, depends on the taste of the person. Not that your humor is much better, Brat," the dog shot back, wagging his tail like a dark banner of mischief. Their journey pressed on, the hound sniffing tirelessly as if the forest itself concealed secrets from all but him. Eventually, he stopped before a thicket, brushing aside the branches to reveal a pit below. A dog's hole, perfectly sized for him. Ling Han raised an eyebrow. "You don't mean for me to crawl through that, do you?" The hound's eyes flared. "What's wrong with a dog's hole? Dare you disrespect Grandpa Dog?" He lunged, teeth bared. Ling Han quickly produced a chicken drumstick from his spatial god tool and pressed it into the hound's mouth, halting the attack. "You claim reliability, yet speak as if there's an actual entrance into this ancient site?" Mouth still busy with the drumstick, the dog's eyes gleamed with triumph. "Pei, the main entrance is heavily guarded. This secret passage is our only choice." "More food?" "Business first." Ling Han scowled. Without further delay, the black dog wriggled into the hole, and Ling Han, shrinking his form, followed. The tunnel stretched far into the earth, a silent testament to the value of the ancient site and the vigilance of its guardians. For 2 full days, they crawled through this winding, earthy labyrinth until the tunnel widened, allowing Ling Han to restore his normal form. Before them stood a wall that shimmered and shifted as if painted by spirits. Colors rippled across its surface, alive and mesmerizing. "This is the protective formation of the ancient site," announced the hound, chest puffed with pride. "No formation in the world can withstand Grandpa Dog's skill. Come, lend your hand, Brat." Ling Han, versed enough in the art of formations to sense their intricacies, studied the hound's deft manipulations. His companion's mastery was undeniable. A craft honed perhaps for breaking into the treasuries of others. Fire, thieves, even the black dog himself. Nothing could breach it but him. "You stare too long, Brat," the dog chided, his paws dancing across the wall's surface. "Just pondering where I might hide a secret treasury in the future," Ling Han replied casually. Leave that to me. No vault could be safer, the dog boasted. Ling Han smirked. Even against you? The dog barked indignantly. I am the creator. How could my own formation bar me? Then you are precisely the one I must guard against, Ling Han muttered. Before the banter could continue, the wall rippled open like a vortex, and they surged forward. Spiritual qi, dense and intoxicating, enveloped them, filling every pore of Ling Han's body, awakening his senses with the force of the mountains themselves. They emerged into a vast medicinal garden, where rows of godly medicines drank in the spiritual qi that roared like an ocean. Any cultivator of lesser strength would have been overwhelmed. But Ling Han remained composed. He released the Empress from his spatial grasp, knowing that their origin power must still accumulate, lest it falter under the weight of high-tier regulations. The black dog, ever bold, waved a paw in greeting. Yo, beauty. The Empress, noble and imperious, paid him no mind, and the dog could only retreat, scratching his behind in sheepish respect. Ling Han's gaze swept over the garden. Despite its bounty, the medicines were merely level 20 godly herbs. He craved the might of celestial great herbs, yet patience tempered his desire. Celestial medicines are rare, the hound reminded. Even a celestial king-tier force cannot grow them everywhere. Over a dozen is already fortunate. Ling Han's eyes sharpened. And here? One or two at most, the dog deduced. Their power differed not in type but in age and contained regulations. The older, the more potent, Ling Han gathered what he could, storing even saintly herbs to strengthen his origin power. When the first garden was swept clean, they scaled the wall toward the next. Yet, as they emerged, a striking scene met them. A middle-aged man, diligently using a cultivation technique to accelerate his medicinal crops. For a moment, the air hung thick with tension, a silent clash of destiny and intent, as if the fates themselves paused to witness the encounter. The wind whispered through the ancient branches as Ling Han's eyes gleamed with a hunter's precision. With a swift, decisive motion, his palm struck like a bolt of lightning, and the man before him crumpled to the earth, rendered unconscious in an instant. Ling Han's gaze shifted toward the looming black-furred figure at his side, its eyes glinting with cunning. "Curse you, beast," he muttered. "I've been ensnared in your trap once more. This place isn't some forsaken ruin. It is the legendary medicinal garden of a major sect." The fallen man, a humble herb farmer, had been no ordinary cultivator. Ling Han had seen the subtle ripples of heaven and earth's regulations being extracted, embedded into the precious herbs with skillful hands. The black dog's amber eyes spun like turbulent clouds before it let out a chuckle that carried a strange mixture of pride and mischief. "Impressive, boy. You've uncovered it faster than I anticipated." Grandpa Dog is pleased. Ling Han could only stare, incredulous. This creature, bold and shameless, confessed to a minor misdeed while concealing the greater crime. The dog's voice deepened, a resonance of inevitability. "We've already come this far. You've pocketed enough spoils that turning back now would serve no purpose. Come, let us seek the celestial medicine." Ling Han sighed, a restless tension knotting in his chest. His own desires wrestled with his conscience, and yet he found himself swept along by the current. "Very well," he said finally. "If I am already in too deep, then I will play the part of the thief." The Empress, serene and unbothered, merely observed, her philosophy unwavering. All in this world was hers, and Ling Han, as her loyal companion, could claim it as well. The journey pressed onward. They gathered herbs with careful precision, moving like shadows across the garden. Any herb farmer they encountered met the swift, non-lethal justice of Ling Han's palm, each man rendered unconscious before being led into the shadowed refuge of the Black Tower. Later, they would be released, unharmed. Yet for now, necessity demanded silence and speed. 2 days hence, as they tread the winding paths beneath towering trees, a fleeting blur caught their eyes. Shoo! A streak of white danced past them, moving with impossible speed. Ling Han's sharp eyes traced it, revealing a creature no taller than 3 inches. A tiny deer of flesh-colored translucence, seemingly ethereal, yet horrifyingly alive. Within its body lay not organs, but a single, radiant seed. 7 lives divine clouds, Ling Han exclaimed, recognition striking him like thunder. This tiny deer was no mere animal. It was a godly medicine, a celestial marvel, destined to undergo 7 transformative lives, Each incarnation bore unique regulations of the heavens, granting powers unlike any ordinary herb. Even now, in this delicate deer form, it shimmered with an aura of incomprehensible potency. The tiny deer, sensing their gaze, turned sharply and opened its mouth. "You insolent brat! Why stare so boldly at Grandpa Deer? Watch yourself, or Grandpa Deer will." Ling Han's heart leapt into his throat. The world he navigated was one of strange phenomena and aberrant wonders. Yet now even the celestial medicine spoke, cursing him with crude words. "Celestial medicine, obediently come to Grandpa Dog's mouth." The black dog lunged, eyes blazing with intent. The deer recoiled, indignation painted across its diminutive features. "Your stench is unbearable, beast. Grandpa Deer will die from your foul breath." And with a bound it fled, legs like spring-loaded silk threads, vanishing into the verdant maze. The chase began in earnest. Ling Han and the Empress drew upon the lightning flash, their bodies streaks of light over the forest floor, while the black dog, a master of instant teleportation even in its mortal shell, tore across the terrain like a phantom. Yet the 7 lives divine clouds evaded them, dancing ahead with impossible cunning. Wherever its hooves struck, vines erupted violently from the soil, attempting to entangle the pursuers, slowing them but never halting the miraculous medicine. "Pathetic mortals, you would dare consume Grandpa Deer? You shall feast on naught but dust!" The deer mocked, its tiny voice brimming with insolent arrogance. The Empress, fury blazing, waved a slender hand. Blinding sword chi surged forth, slicing the air and striking the earth with merciless precision. The deer shivered, spraying drops of celestial fluid in terror, its white hide tinged with green from shock. Ling Han, swift as thought, captured the precious fluid in a jade vial, though he could not suppress a grimace. The source of the treasure was an unspeakable indignity. "Surrender! I surrender!" the tiny deer cried, fear finally overtaking its pride. "I will offer a portion of my essence. Spare Grandpa Deer!" Ling Han's mind whirred with an idea. "We mean no harm. Follow us to a medicinal garden of mine, where you shall thrive and be cherished." The deer's gaze, initially laced with suspicion, hardened into defiance. "Do not lie, child. You are far too young to trick Grandpa Deer." The Empress raised her hand, icy and deliberate, and the deer's expression softened into eager determination. "Yes, I shall love it. Make anyone dare to offend me, and they shall regret it." Ling Han glanced at the black dog. "A relative of yours?" The dog scratched idly. "Seems like it." "Your sister, you say? Grandpa Deer has no relatives as ugly as you. Look at your teeth. Hideous!" The deer teased, expertly stoking the dog's temper. Teeth bared, the black dog lunged, only to be restrained by Ling Han's firm grip on its tail. "Enough play," Ling Han commanded, drawing the 7 lives divine clouds into the black tower. The moment the deer glimpsed the reincarnation tree, shock overtook its features. Rushing to the roots, it pressed against the bark, confusion etched upon its tiny visage. This mother tree, it has matured, yet it bears no wisdom? It has only existed a few centuries. Ling Han's own shock deepened. The reincarnation tree, accelerated by the secret arts of the small tower, had reached its full form in a fraction of its true age, its life force a marvel yet untouched by the passage of millennia. Stirred by awe, he turned to small tower. Even this tree is a life of the heavens and earth. In that quiet, hallowed space, the ancient energies of cultivation, celestial medicine, and boundless ambition converged, weaving a tapestry of martial arts legend that would echo across the ages.